All right, we got day 3. So we got quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. Big day starts at 1 o'clock. So yeah, I think it runs till 9. So it's the whole day. Uh, Lots going on. Except the sad part is probably for quarterbacks, we're not going to see anything we want to see. It seems like all top 3 guys. I don't know if Drake Maye's throwing today, but I'm not going to be surprised if basically we see just little glimpses of these guys sitting around talking. They do a bunch of highlights of these guys, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of in-depth stuff, except we're going to be looking at what J.J. McCarthy can do, Joe Milton can do, Bo Nix. I'm not sure what Pratt's going to be. Penix is going to do. Pratt's another guy to keep an eye on. And even Spencer Rattler, see what he comes in at. And it's not, watching these guys, you might have a guy that you really like, especially the quarterback position. That's all you want to see because, we got to go get Daniels. We got to go get Maye, or got to trade up for Caleb. Whatever your, plan is for quarterbacks, or, we could get Penix in the second. Whatever it may be, you have to realize that most teams in the NFL desperately need a semi-competent quarterback. I mean, really, the bottom half of the NFL, the only team that's really in the bottom half that's really not, I would say the top half of the draft, that's completely out on probably a quarterback is the Chargers. Everybody else is really at least considering it, right? So why is that important? Well, you have to realize if these guys show up that good, like they're there and they're putting out good numbers and they're looking great and they're comparable to, the top end guys. Now, of course, it goes down to tape and a variety of other things, but there might be a few teams that might be thinking, hey, we might want to pick those guys up now because what happens if we don't get the shot at who we want in the second or third or fourth, right? So that goes into the strategy of what the Patriots want to do because they might be thinking, we can just, draft a tackle or Marvin Harrison Jr. or Neighbors or whoever, and then, we'll take who's ever is there in the second. That'll be what we'll do this year. That might not work because what happens if all of a sudden there's literally 7 guys drafted, or maybe I'd say maybe 5, but maybe what happens if there is like 7 guys drafted in the first round? Totally possible. Now that works out well for us having a shot at, top quality players in other positions in the second and third, but it might make us SOL at the quarterback position for a year. And I'll remind you, next year's quarterback class, no matter what people want to say, at this point, is not even close to how good this quarterback class is. How do we know that? Well, your top rated guys next year would have been third rounders in this class. Essentially. Maybe second here and there. They're not nearly as good. And, we'll say, like, for example, Maye and Caleb Williams, those guys have been highlighted as quote unquote generational talents, whatever you want to put that title in there. Since they've entered, these guys have been seen as top level NFL first rounder, number 1 overall type of talent since they've entered college. Now, Jayden Daniels has, proven himself and has grown into that role, right? Because he can throw the ball. He seems to do well with, pre-snap. Post-snap, he does well with his reads. He's doing all right. It looks like he's competent upstairs. And obviously, he's a dynamic athlete. So, he's worked himself up into that top position, right? But the point here is that we have to really pay attention to what's going on with the quarterbacks because it determines if these guys really show up and they look that good today and in their pro days, and if they really did interview that well and their medicals go well, you might be looking at a bunch of guys being moved up, and all of a sudden that, the whole scenario of, hey, we can get somebody in the second or third might not be an option. Anyway, running backs, we got to be looking at, there's a few guys in here you guys need to really keep an eye on that I like. There's your top guys, like, there's obviously Blake Corum's going to be one of your top guys. You also have, what's his face from FSU? Where is he? What am I thinking of? Why can't I think of his name? I like him too. I think, Trey Benson, there he is. Trey Benson, Corum. Brooks is pretty good too. I really like Braelon Allen for us because he's just a big dude. I think we definitely need to go back to at least having the option of just running people over. Because if you at least upgrade your offensive line and your quarterback is not necessarily, top end, either because, we need a developmental quarterback or we have to do, a bridge veteran, chances are this guy's not going to be slinging around on day one. So having a good stable of running backs, we already have, Stevenson. I'm about bringing back Zeke. I think he did a really great job. Now, who knows what someone wants to come in, wants to take him to possibly be a good backup for fill in the blank for a good, going for a ring. And I think, Zeke might take that depending on who's, making the offer. But I'd like to bring him back. If not, we really need to think about bringing back Braelon Allen. And then we also have Dylan Lobe. He's another one, obviously, we're keeping an eye on. He's my third favorite guy or second favorite guy in the whole draft. And then other guys to really keep an eye on. This guy is actually dynamic. Could be a good pass-catching running back. He's at least a solid change of pace. This guy's going to fly. He's another good change of pace guy, and he can receive the ball. There's plenty of other guys here. Jalen Wright's another interesting guy. Mayan Williams is not getting respect. This is your best third down back probably in the whole draft because he's been doing the role almost his whole entire college career. He can run the ball, but he's come in as that third down back. Bucky Irving's another guy that could be, again, kind of a change of pace against Stevenson, so much more of a speed back, and he can receive the ball. Really good reception numbers. Ray Davis is the same thing there. I like Ray Davis a lot for the Patriots. He might be your best. If Zeke is gone, he might be your best chance of getting somebody he's a little smaller than, he's one of those bowling ball guys. So he's a little shorter, but he's super fast, super powerful, and he can catch the ball. So he might be your best Zeke, perfect Zeke replacement. Same thing with Zay Davis. So these two guys are solid to really keep an eye on. I like Isaiah Davis a lot. A lot of people are going to go, oh, he's South Dakota State. He's going to be, Pierre Strong. Well, he's a different type of back. They're both very powerful and Pierre Strong's more speed, but Zay Davis is a bigger dude. Has fantastic numbers, and I invite you to go watch his videos. I haven't done him yet because I want to see what his numbers come out to be, but I'll do a specific one on him. There's a lot of guys in here. I haven't touched too many running backs except Laube. I've been waiting for the numbers for these guys, and I'll bang them out. So, again, Trey Benson, Corum, Braelon Allen, Zay Davis, Ray Davis. Frank Gore Jr. is actually pretty interesting. Audric Estimé is one of your best running backs in college. He's interesting to watch, at least. Isaac, change of pace, another guy to watch. Lobe, of course. Keelan Robinson. Schrader's actually an interesting one, too. Same thing with Shipley. I guess we have to see where he's going at. If he's like in the 4.4s, he might be interesting to get. And then Vidal's another guy that's been kind of underrated. There's a lot of running backs. Running backs in general have been underrated all year. Same thing with Jace McKellen. All right, wide receivers. Where do we start? Where do we even start? I guess at the top. I've been, again, all the way back in August when I did my first college prep, watch these guys' videos, right? I said I had 30, I think, I keep saying 34, 35 guys that, to me, going into the season, I would give a day 1 or day 2 grade. Meaning, that's how good I thought this incoming class was. And we've lost a few guys because, they're juniors and they don't want to be, picked in the 4th round where they probably could be maybe fringe first or in the 2nd round. So they went back, and now those guys are basically the top of the class next year. But the real big, there's a lot of guys. You can almost go this whole entire list of people to watch. So, but let's go down the highlights, right? The guys that are really going to show up today. Malachi's going to do well. Ryan Flournoy, Troy Franklin. He'll probably test out very well. Marvin Harrison's not even testing out. He's underrated in terms of speed. Same thing with Cornelius. Leggett, McCaffrey, McConkey. You got to see if he can get under a 4.5. McMillan should run the 4.3s. Bub Means probably in the 4.3s. Mitchell close to that. Neighbors, I don't think he's testing, but if he does, I think it's 4.3s. Same thing with the Dunze. Pearsall probably 4.4s. Polk in the 4.4s. Brendan Rice is going to be a big one. If he really is a 4.3 with a 40-inch vert and runs near a 4 flat for his shuttle, yeah, he's definitely moving himself up in the second, I think. If not, if we can get him in the third, that's a steal, in my opinion. He's still my top target for really wide receiver because I think he's day 2 Marvin Harrison Jr., in my opinion. Brian Thomas, see where he comes in at. Bailey, this guy you need to watch. He's on my sleeper video. Haven't got to it yet, but it's going to be... My sleeper video probably won't be sleepers by the time we get to it. Tez Walker, speed. Malik, agility, same thing with Taj. He's underrated. He'll probably put 4.3s up. Need to see if he's a 4.4 guy, same thing with him. And he might, we're looking to see if he's the fastest in the whole draft. Now, ones that you want to watch that are really underrated, Jalen Coker. I've been saying it since, again, September. He's a local guy. If you have guys told you the whole year, if you had a chance to go watch Holy Cross, watch him. And then, yeah, him and Sluka. There's a bunch of guys on Holy Cross that deserve. Same thing with Rhode Island. There's a bunch of guys on both of those rosters that are worth looking at. Some of the sleeper guys that I've been working on here, definitely Coker, Gould, Cornelius Jackson's in there as well, and Tavian Robinson's another guy I put on the sleeper list. I think they have Bailey was on there. Malik and Taj are on there. Same thing with Weaver. Basically, this whole group right here is basically on the sleeper list because they are good. They have good numbers and they have good tape. It's just that this year you have all these other top guys like Coleman and Baker's solid, obviously, and all these other top guys that are going to drown them out. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, who you're looking at today. If you like this content, as always, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.